Hello everyone. In this video we will be seeing about price discrimination in a monopoly. Price discrimination under a monopoly. So price discrimination refers to the practice of charging different prices from different consumers. It refers to the practice of charging different price from different consumers. So under a particular monopoly, the producer will not be charging uniform prices from all the customers. He will follow different methods under different circumstances. This policy can be broadly referred to as price discrimination. So price discrimination is a practice wherein the selling is done of the same product to different consumers or different buyers at different prices. When monopoly firm adopts this policy, it will become a discriminatory monopoly, according to Professor Benham. So according to Professor Benham, monopolist may be able to divide his sales among a number of different markets to charge a different price in each market. Professor John Robinson or Professor Robinson defines it as Professor Robinson defined it as charging different prices for the same product or same price for different products. Professor Stingler defines it as scale of technically similar. So Professor Stingler defines it as the scale of technically similar, product at prices which are not proportional to marginal cost. So price discrimination can be divided into three different types. Types of price discrimination. The first type of price discrimination is personal price discrimination. Then there is local price discrimination. Then there is price discrimination as per usage. So these are the three different types of price discrimination. So price discrimination is personal when seller charges different prices from different people, okay, from different persons or different buyers, different prices from different people. On the other hand, price discrimination is local when the seller charges different prices for different localities. And price discrimination as per usage can be defined as price discrimination same come different price for different uses. So when for example different price is charged from different people, for example haircut for children and haircut for adults, both have different prices. In the same manner, if it is for example if the good price in domestic market and good price in international market, then the price discrimination is according to the locality. And similarly, price discrimination according to usage, electricity charges for industrial and domestic usage. In that case, the price discrimination is according to the usage. Now we would be seeing the degrees of price discrimination. There are 3 degrees of price discrimination. So let's put a heading: degrees of price discrimination. So the first degree that we have is known as first degree of price discrimination. Then we have second degree of price discrimination, and then we have third degree of price discrimination. So when these degrees of price discrimination were identified by Professor Pigou, it was identified by Professor Pigou. So the first type of the first degree of price discrimination that is there is first degree of price discrimination. Now Under the first degree of price discrimination, according to the customer, the discrimination would occur when monopolist is able to sell each and every separate unit of output at different price. So each unit of output in the first degree of price discrimination, each unit of output is sold by the monopolist at different price. So in other words, it involves maximum possible exploitation of each buyer. Here maximum possible exploitation of buyers is undertaken. What is found is that here the producer exploits him to the maximum possible extent by asking him to pay the maximum he is prepared to pay rather than going without the commodity. वो commodity नहीं हो उसको ऐसी stage में रख देता है that if he doesn't have the commodity or till what level he is willing to pay for the commodity in a situation where he is not going to have that particular commodity. तो उस extent तक उसे एक monopolist उस तक लेके जाता है. In this case, the monopolist will not allow any type of consumer surplus to the consumer. The price discrimination of the first degree can be understood with the help of this figure, which I am presenting now. So price discrimination can be understood in this manner. So if a particular monopolist is trying to sell a commodity, he would be charging in this manner. So what happens in this case is that the monopolist at price 10, the buyer is willing to purchase 1 unit of food. At 9, he is willing to purchase 2 units of goods. At 8, he would be willing to purchase 3 units of food, and so on and so forth. So for example, if a buyer needs 3 units of a commodity, then he has to pay how much? 10 rupees पे 1 plus 9 rupees पे 2. So he would be overall paying how much? 10 into 1 is 10 plus 9 into 2 is 18. He has to pay 28 rupees in order to purchase that particular commodity. वो commodity खरीदने के लिए वो 28 rupees पे करेगा. So 28 rupees उसे पे करना होगा, but instead of doing that, what the producer does here in this case, if he is buying in this manner, the simple manner in which is 28 rupees उसे भरने होंगे as the price of all of these units, and by doing so he sets a consumer surplus of how much? What he does in this case is that under a simple monopoly, if the seller fixes the price at 7 rupees, okay, let's assume that the price that is determined or decided by the monopolist is 7 rupees, because he has the right to sell the products at whatever price he deems fit. So what he does is that he wants to sell the commodities at 7 rupees. So essentially, if a particular consumer is wanting to buy 4 units, okay, So instead of here we had 3 units, so let's make it 4 units rather than 3 units. Then we will be able to see it in a much more easier manner. Plus 8 into 1 is equal to 10 plus 18 plus 8. So what would be the price? So he will be paying how much? 36 rupees in this case, if he is buying in this manner, 10 pe 1, 9 pe 2, 8 pe 1. In this manner, if he goes on buying, then this is how he would be paying. Okay, the consumer would be charged in this manner. Now, assuming that the monopolist set the price at 7 rupees, if flat 7 rupees is charged for 4 units, the monopolist would be getting 7 into 4, that is revenue would be 7 into 4 is equal to 28. There is a surplus of 36 minus 28, that is 6 rupees in this case. As it is a discriminating monopoly of the first degree, the monopolist would be charging or paying, making the consumer pay in this manner rather than this manner. तो वो यही वाला pricing strategy adopt करेगा. He would be adopting this pricing strategy rather than any other pricing strategy, because here he is able to recover, or he is able to collect more revenue in this case. So यहाँ पे वो ज़्यादा रेवेन्यू कलेक्ट कर पा रहा है, इसलिए यही वाली स्ट्रैटेजी वो अडाप्ट करेगा. एंड ही विल नॉट बी अडाप्टिंग दिस पर्टिकुलर स्ट्रैटेजी. He will not be adapting this strategy because he is losing 6 rupees here. So in this manner, the discriminating first degree price discrimination under first degree is undertaken, and here consumer is left with no surplus. Consumer is left with no surplus. Now we will be seeing the next price discrimination, that is price discrimination under second degree of second degree. So this is the second one, price discrimination of second degree. Now, when price discrimination of second degree is undertaken, the buyers would be divided into groups. Okay, for this purpose, buyers are divided into groups. Buyers are divided into groups, and these groups, from each of these groups, different price would be charged. Different price is charged from each of the group. So here we can see this with the help of a figure, which I am not going now going to show to you people. So in this manner, price discrimination of the second degree is undertaken, wherein different groups are created of the consumers. यहाँ पे different groups market को हमने 4 parts में divide किया है, and from 4 of these people we are charging different prices at say for example from the group 1 we are charging P1 price, and they are OP1 price, and they are willing to buy a OX1 quantity. All of the buyers pay this particular price, and here they are able to buy that particular product. Here the surplus is not there. They are not having consumer surplus at this stage. In the same manner, all the buyers in this group pay OP price, and the group gets a DK, that is DK1P consumer surplus. That is, this is the consumer surplus that they would be getting. If we extend this curve upwards, अगर हमने ये कर्व को और ऊपर एक्सटेंड किया है, tab what we would be finding is, if for example if I extend it further, rather than having an arrow, I extend it further and ensure that the demand curve intersects. Here the consumer surplus that these entities or these people would be having is equal to DKP1. Okay, this is the consumer surplus that they would be getting. The highlighted pink portion is the consumer surplus that they get. So this is the consumer surplus that they are getting. On the other hand, in the same manner, other groups, okay, other groups would be paying OP2 price, then they would be paying OP3 price, OP4 price, and their consumer surplus, the second group's consumer surplus would be equal to this particular level. Second group's consumer surplus would be this much, equal to this level. The one which is highlighted in yellow, that's the consumer surplus of the second group, DK2P2. okay, so it would be this whole portion. okay, ये पूरा portion उनका consumer surplus बनेगा. So the second so consumer surplus of first group is equal to DP1K1. Second group is equal to DP2K2. okay, DP2K2. Third group is equal to DP3K3. Fourth group is equal to DP4K4. That's the surplus for each of the group. Now, in this manner, the consumer surplus is created. The first group would be having the least amount of consumer surplus, whereas the fourth group would be having the maximum consumer surplus in this case. Now, let's move ahead to the third degree of consumers price discrimination. So let's put a heading, third degree of consumer price discrimination. That is the third one. Price discrimination of the third degree. Price discrimination of third degree means यहाँ पे seller is dividing the particular market into two or more than two sub markets or groups. okay, seller divides the market into two or more than two subgroups and would be charging different price from each subgroup. हर सब ग्रुप के पास से कोई अलग प्राइस चार्ज की जाएगी. दिस प्राइस इज चार्ज्ड इन द सब मार्केट नीड नॉट टू बी द लोएस्ट डिमांड प्राइस ऑफ दैट सब मार्केट. यहाँ पे जो प्राइस फिक्स की जाएगी या डिटरमाइन की जाएगी ये नहीं होगा कि द लोएस्ट प्राइस विच कैन बी पॉसिबली चार्ज वो प्राइस नहीं है. इट इज बेसिकली द प्राइस एट विच the monopolist feels that he would be getting the maximum return from that particular market. So price discrimination of third degree means division of sub markets into two or more subtypes, charging different prices from each of these subgroups, and this price is need not to be essentially the lowest demand price of that subgroup or submarket. In the next video, we will be talking about price discrimination and its forms, or can be known as basis of price discrimination. Thank you.